Mr. Coders, welcome back to the next second program within the data structure BCA as per the SAP. And I am Chetan Kumar from iLearn Academy. As we have already discussed about the first algorithms within the first program, that is the linear search algorithm and the binary search algorithm, and have already know that is related to the searching algorithm. We will discuss about one of the sorting technique or the mechanism, that is your bubble sort. Okay, according to your second program. This is your program, and why it is known as bubble sort. If you take any of the concept, it is related to its mechanism or its characteristics. To label as the name of a algorithm, as name implies, it is a bubble sort, and we should remember bubble sort is also known as a interchange sort. Number two, exchange sort. Number three, swapping sort or else shifting sort. Okay, so within this, it will be the sorting will be decided based on the density of the numbers. Okay, based on that, it will decide whether the number should be bubbled up or else bubbled down. If the density of the number is very minimum, very less, at the time this algorithm will decide those numbers should be bubbled to the bottommost position of your array. If the thing is vice versa means if your element's density is very large, at that time the same algorithm will decide to push up or bubble up those kind of elements. So to follow these kind of mechanism, we have this algorithm. Let's begin the program. As you know already, while you are writing, the program will begin from the standard library function. And what type of standard library function we are using? That is stdio.h. Standard input output dot header file. Okay, by including this one, we can use the printf standards. Okay, just to give the input as well as to provide the output. And as we know already, the thing is the compiler will always execute the program from the main function itself. So we have to dive onto the main function as the gateway of execution. This is your main function, and that int is your return type. Within the main function, we have to declare certain required number of variables, including this type, and we are including that is the integer type of n named variable to accept the number of elements, followed by as what we are writing this line as the acknowledgement to conclude what the user has to do. Okay, as soon as the console will encounter in front of them within the screen. Okay, on that occasion, enter the number of elements. Based on the user given number of the quantity of elements, it will be stored in a named variable, and at the same time, it will be scanned by. It will be read by the compiler, and for that, we are using one of the format specifier as per the data type we have declared, that is integer. Based on that integer, we can pass percentage d or percentage I. Okay, and that will be stored as per the ampersand address of operator. It will hold the address of this variable, and after providing the quantity of number of elements within the array, it will be followed by the array declaration itself. Okay, and what is the array name you are declaring? Array name as a ARR, and followed by within the subscript the n. The n means that is the number of elements. As the size we are declaring. And next, what we are doing? We are entering those quantity of elements one by one. To accept that within the specific individual index, we are using the for loop construct. Okay, so we are using the range, and the range will be starting from 0 to n minus 1. It is less than n means up to what kind of a range your loop can accept the number back to back until the range reaches less than n, that is size minus 1, n minus 1. From 0 to n minus 1, what is our updating rule? That is incrementing 1 by 1, that is the incrementing by 1. So after all the incrementing, we can pass our individual element one by one. As we know, the rule of the array within the 0th index, the first element will be stored, followed by within the first index your second element. Okay, it will goes on within the same until you pass those declared number of quantity of numbers has been passed within the array. Okay, this is the part of introducing your element within the array type of linear storage, contiguous, continuous, sequence type of memory. And after doing so, what we are doing? We are calling one function or the method, and the method name is this algorithm, that is bubble sort. Within that bubble sort, it is accepting certain parameters as argument. That is, the first argument is the array storage, to store the n number of numbers within that. As soon as n of the method has been called, the pointer will be navigated towards the actual declaration of this bubble sort method. Now, where we have to navigate our pointer or a control, we have to navigate from this point to that declaration part of this bubble sort. Your declaration part of the bubble sort algorithm, and as we know, we have two parameters. The first parameter is your array, and the second parameter as the quantity of number of numbers which you are storing within the same array, that is the n. And within the body of that function or else method, we are declaring another variable as the local declaration. Okay, for what we can call it as a local. So it has the power, or else it has the accessible modification level within the body of the bubble sort only, but not outside this method. Okay, it has the control over only a bubble sort method, not within the outside of the method. And followed by, we are introducing the first for loop within the body, that is I is equal to 0 to its range is n minus 1 and including the less than that one. Why? Because based on any kind of comparison, we can reach up to the previous of n minus 1. Because while we are comparing, if we reach the last element, that is n minus 1, we are not able to compare the last element with the next element, since we don't have the next element itself. So your control will stop within the less than n minus 1 as the boundary. For that, we are setting 0 to less than n minus 1. Okay, within this range, we have to increment our pointer, that is our updation process. And along with that, we are introducing our nested for loop. Okay, nested means what? Within the one for loop, the process of introducing another for loop. Okay, nested for loop. Okay, this is the inner loop, we can also call it as. And it is dependent on what? The comparison as well as the swapping. Okay, while we are using this nested, just to swap the elements within the proper position. Okay, for that, we are starting from the same range, that is the starting point, that is 0, and its range is n minus 1 minus I. Okay, that is the range we are using for comparison as well as swapping to the previous position. And next, we are starting our if condition for comparison itself. Always based on this exchange sort, first element should be lesser than the second. If the thing is vice versa, they exist, they encounter your stacking operation. Yes. For deciding the stacking operation, the condition is this one. Okay, if your current element is greater than the next element, that is a j plus 1 element, at that time it is a necessity to swap the element. For swapping the element itself, I have declared a temp named variable, that is the third variable, other than the j and the j plus 1 element. And within the temp, we are storing the first variable value. Now the first variable got empty, and within that emptied variable, we are storing our second variable value within the first variable. And again now we have just got emptied the second variable. Within that second variable, so we are storing the temp variable value which we have stored the first variable value earlier. And this is the process of doing exchange based on this conditional scenario. Yes. After following the process of the mechanism of bubble sort, we will come back to the same method along with the output. Now we have the output. Okay, we are carrying from the normal logic to a this method call. Now it is very essential to display the same onto the screen, onto the console. To print that one, we are again dependent on another method call. Okay, and that method call is the print array. Print array, within that we are again declaring the two parameters. One is array and n, because we need to print those n number of elements onto the screen in the type of array manner itself, the contiguous, the sequential manner itself. Okay, to do so, we have to navigate towards the actual method, and the method name is print array. Yes. This is your print array declaration method. Within that, as you know, we are using two parameters argument, that is the array and your n number of elements. Within the body, again, whenever we want to print the element, we have to traverse those elements. Whenever we need to traverse the element, we need the looping construct. That is the reason we are using the for loop, since we know the range already. At that time, we are using the for. And what is the range? Again, 0 to less than n minus 1, size minus 1. Till that, we can print all the elements one by one onto the screen, not within a single instant. Okay, your computer will print one by one, but since we know your computer will work based on the fraction of second, you can't notice that the difference of printing all the elements. For every element printing, we can just have the slash n. That is the next line mechanism. How you can execute the program? So enter the number of elements, and the number of elements are 5. And what is that actual elements? 5, 3, 8, 4, 2. This is in a randomized order. But what is our intention to do? To do within a sorted manner. But which mechanism we are choosing? We are choosing the bubble sort mechanism. As a result, we can have the sorted array within the place of either 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 as the final result. Hope you all have understood. Again, if you have any type of query, just comment me below, and I will respond for your all the questions.